Alright. Don't have much of a garden anymore. Kind of feel ashamed of it, how small it is. But it's a long story that we're not going to get into. And I'll just show you what we do have. So there's not very much for variety there now. There's mainly a few carrots right there. Tomatoes, there's 3 varieties. There's cherry tomatoes. There's plums. That'd be for sauce and stuff. And then the big beefsteak slicers. And there's a few squash and some chives and lots of strawberries. And some peas over there on the far end. But really there's not a lot. The main thing I did want to show was this grass. So what I was doing is I mow the lawn over there, and then I get one of the boys to rake it up and bring it over here. And you can see around the bottom of all the tomatoes, I mounded it up. And it's just because it's so dry. I mean, and it's been raining pretty good lately. But, you know, it's been quite warm as well. And so that's where this grass thing came in. So we got a compost bin out back of the house. And I went around there a couple days ago and I peeled all this grass back. And I put that compost around the base of the tomato trunks. And you can see that, I mean, that's, you know, really holds the moisture in good, eh? So I got that compost on there, but that sun hits that compost, it'll knock it right out. So that's why I really like this grass. Just for keeping the sun off the compost and helping to keep the moisture in a little bit. So I've got that on every one of the tomatoes, on everything really. All the tomatoes. And I mean, this soil around here is really poor. Heavy clay. And it'd probably be a good decade dealing with it just to lighten it up. But I'll quit yapping, and we don't got much, but go around, a few sunflowers there. I always like sunflowers, so throw a few of them around. A great big bugger right there that just came up, just the squirrels planted that. All of them really. I didn't, this row here I planted them intentionally. That one there came up, the squirrels did it. And the one way over there, the squirrels planted that too. And so here you see the peas, they're just about done. But they've been a lot of fun this year. I think there's just another cucumber in there. And a wild tomato come up. Because same thing last year. I mean, we had this thing plugged right full of tomatoes, and all the tomatoes that dropped down to the ground, that's where all these tomatoes here came from. And they're all little cherry tomatoes. And this one right in here, that was just popped up from last year as well. These ones here, we planted all those just from seedlings. Now I've been looking, I mean, the main reason I put the compost on is because I'm not really sure. I wish I kept a garden journal so I could tell when the first date that you picked your first tomato, when was the first date that you saw red on a tomato? Because right now it's August 1st or 2nd or something like that. And there's not a stitch of red on any of the tomatoes at all. And good time to show off my tomato cages. Don't really need them for most of these things, they're so small. But that's just really poor soil. That compost should help with that as well. But this is just concrete reinforcing mesh. 4x8 sheets. I cut them in two. Take one, that's one 4-foot by 4-foot chunk. Just wraps it around and twist the ends to hold it together. Put a piece of rebar or some sort of metal in the ground just to hold it up. And like I said, excuse me, we don't really have a whole heck of a lot here, so that's about it. I want to get all that ground covered with grass, just so the grass feeds the soil and helps lighten it up, which it needs really, really bad, and also keeps the soil moist. So anyways, that's all for now.